What if the money you earn every month, the money that pays your bills and feeds your family, could actually be harming your afterlife? Many Muslims may be earning from prohibited sources without even realizing it, from bankers to YouTubers. Let's break down the major types of haram income in Islam and what you need to avoid. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. In Islam, it's not just about how you spend your money, it's also about how you earn it. The Quran and Sunnah clearly tell us what makes income halal and what makes it haram. But today, things aren't always that simple. Some sources of income are obviously forbidden, while others can be much harder to recognize. So in this video, we'll break down the major types of haram income, from the obvious ones to modern jobs and side hustles you might not expect. Alright, let's cover the basics that every Muslim should know: Riba, Gharar, and Maysir. First up is Riba, which is usually translated as interest. The Quran is very clear. Allah has allowed trade but has forbidden riba. This isn't just about old-fashioned loan sharks. It's a concept that scholars see in modern banking, from credit cards to mortgages. The main problem is that money is made from debt itself, not from a real exchange of goods or services. While all scholars agree riba is forbidden, they are still discussing how it applies to every single financial product today. A famous hadith says that the one who takes, pays, records, or witnesses an interest deal are all equal in sin, which is why working in these places is a serious topic. Next is Gharar, which means major uncertainty in a deal. Islam wants contracts to be clear so no one gets taken advantage of. Any deal where the important details are vague or rely on a random future event can have Gharar. This is one of the main reasons many scholars have issues with conventional insurance. In a typical insurance policy, you don't know for sure how much you'll pay versus how much you might get back. This is why scholars also criticize it for having elements of gambling and interest. Finally, there's Maysir, which is gambling. This is any deal where you gain money purely by chance while others lose. Obvious examples are lotteries and casinos, but this rule is also being applied to new issues. For instance, there's a big debate among scholars about whether things like paid loot boxes in video games, where you get a random prize, count as gambling because they are based on pure luck. Beyond just financial deals, there are whole industries that are forbidden to profit from. The most obvious one is anything related to alcohol, making it, selling it, or even serving it. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in a hadith that 10 types of people involved with alcohol are cursed, which shows how serious this is. The same rule applies to pork and anything made from it. This also includes making money from services that are clearly forbidden, like prostitution, fortune-telling, or anything involving magic. Any job that asks you to help or promote something immoral is also a problem. For example, producing or sharing pornography. Now, a quick note on ingredients. While selling pork is clearly haram, the rules about profiting from products with haram ingredients can get complicated. Some scholars talk about an idea called istihala, which is when a substance changes so completely that it might become permissible. But this is a very complex topic with a lot of debate among scholars, especially when it comes to things made from pork. Okay, this is where things get tricky for many of us with regular jobs. What if you have a normal job, but the company you work for does some haram things? Let's talk about conventional banking. While all scholars agree that riba is haram, there's a big discussion about who is directly involved. Many scholars say that jobs that directly create or manage loans with interest, like a loan officer, are not allowed. But what about jobs like its support, or har? Here, opinions are different. Some scholars say it's okay, especially if it's hard to find a halal job, while others advise staying away from these companies completely just to be safe. The key question is, does your specific job directly support the haram activity? Then there's content creation and marketing. Making content itself is not haram, but it becomes a problem if your work involves promoting forbidden things. This could be a YouTuber who reviews alcohol, a marketer who makes ads for a casino, or an influencer who is known for promoting immodesty. Your income then becomes connected to promoting sin. So, what if this video makes you realize your income might not be halal? The first step isn't to panic. Instead, take a breath and sincerely ask Allah for forgiveness. Next, it's time to learn more. The rules for jobs with mixed income or indirect involvement can be complex. It is very important to talk to a qualified, trusted scholar who understands your specific situation. The final step is to make a plan to find a halal source of income. Trust in the promise that if you leave something for Allah's sake, He will always give you something better in return. Living as a Muslim today means we need to be mindful about our careers and have a strong desire to please Allah. Trying to earn a halal income isn't just about following rules. It's an act of worship that fills our lives with blessings and brings us closer to Him. May Allah give us all pure earnings and the strength to follow His commands. If you found this video helpful, please share it with friends or family who might have these same questions, and let us know in the comments what other financial topics you'd like us to talk about.